Oh, ow! Oh my god! This mess looks straight out of Saw. There's gotta be a better way to clean and shine my dagger than this. This is what I used to deal with when I cut myself shaving before I knew about Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for keeping my dagger slick and ready for wherever the night takes me. Manscaped, our favorite sponsor. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use code HMT at Manscaped. Be sure to use that code HMT at Manscaped to get 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Manscaped.com. It's .com.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
I just took a stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face!
Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I am Dr. Bryce Hanson. I hold a PhD in spookology, and with me is
Professor David Day, the foremost expert in scare no-nos.
And today we have a very special guest.
We have I think our longest time patron, Biggin, Brad Biggin.
Hello.
Yeah, I thought you were on another episode, but I was misremembering it. You watched Hansel und Gretel with us, or Gretel and Hansel. Yeah, right. It was Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah.
I just want to say you're the first person who's ever confused me for anybody else.
Yeah. That's fair.
This is my longtime friend, Biggin. He's the largest man you'll ever know. It's probably... Do you ever get tired of people talking about how big you are?
No, honestly, so I work in the public atmosphere. I deliver beer for a living, so I'm used to having people give me the whole, holy crap, you're huge. And then I just smile in my head because I think they're talking about my pants. But
I'm a little disappointed that you're not wearing your coat of many colors.
No, I mean, so all I hear about on this podcast is how warm it gets down here. And if I were to wear that trench, I would probably have to be naked underneath of it.
I'm okay with this. I mean, yeah. Anyways, we've got a great show today.
Do we?
Well, I mean, a bit of controversy around this episode. And we've covered it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and we've published a, apology for the mistakes we've made. We watched Bats, and it was definitely, not the movie that we were supposed to watch. And so apologies to Magnus. We're going to make it right this episode. Let's hop right into it and listen to the trailer.
Tonight is a magical night where I choose the cat that deserves a new life.
Going to the ball could get dangerous. Come on! Let's dance!
I judge a cat by its soul.
I've got plenty of soul.
Spotlight. And a drum roll, please.
No! It's party time! The most deserving cat will be reborn into another life. So they can be who they've always dreamed of being.
What's your name?
Cat got your tongue?
Here we go!
Wait a minute.
What?
I think I got that wrong. I think that's a trailer for Cats.
What?
I must have pulled the wrong one. Sorry, we're reviewing Rats.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the trailer for Rats.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry again. What a boy, is the egg on our faces.
Oh, it's all over the place.
Rats. What do they want from us? Rats. Why are they man's enemy? Rats. They are watching and waiting. Rats. Their time has come. Why do rats repel us? What is it about those little furry bodies that's so frightening? Just think of them close to you.
They're here. They're coming. God, no.
Who could stop them, and how? Rats are here, under our feet, all around us.
Come on, out in the open so I can smash you to pieces. Come to the slaughter.
A strange rat from another community came into it. He was soon killed. And afterwards eaten.
Seething, teeming millions, their little red eyes gleaming with rage and hunger. And they're waiting for you.
No! I don't want to die like that!
No! Don't leave us alive! They'll kill us all! Kill all of us!
The last time I'm warning you. Drop the guns, Kurt. Go on.
You'll never get away.
You two move that console and barricade yourselves in.
No.
I'll try to stop them.
Rats, they're waiting for you. Tonight, because this is your night of terror. Here come the rats.
Okay.
So, okay, I just realized I skipped over all the intro. So, if you're new to the show, you probably have no idea what this episode is about or care, and I apologize.
Yeah.
Blame the Swedes.
Yeah.
So, we start out every episode by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a miserable dredge where it makes you angry that you watched it, 5 being an average film that hits all the expected marks, and 10 being so good it transcends genre boundaries. After we give our score, we'll get into the spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on in this episode, we're going to do Taglines, horror movie whores, where we listen to our voicemail. And let's get into this episode. So,
but this very important, special, super exciting, very good movie episode about Rats, Night of Terror from 1984.
Wow, wow, wee, woo.
Yeah. Wow.
So Rats, if you want to watch it, can be found at Magnus's house or at various streaming outlets on the internet.
Yeah. I'm
glad that I didn't pay for it.
Whoa. Hey, what are you talking about?
I found it on Internet Archive. So
I found and paid for it on Amazon like a good little boy.
Sure.
I found it on YouTube with Japanese subtitles for free.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Yeah.
I mean, are you really suggesting someone pay to watch Rats: A Night of Terror?
No, and if you continue to listen to our free podcast review, you will see why.
Anyways, okay, so Rats is about a tribe of rats called the Jellicles that must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heaviside layer and come back to a new Jellicle. Okay, wait, that's not right. That's cats. Oh, sorry. Rats is about a post-nuclear apocalyptical world in which all vegetation is destroyed and humans are separated into 2 factions, one above ground and one below. This has little to nothing to do with the actual plot of the movie, but the filmmakers thought it was very important that you know this. Rats is really about killer rats. That's it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it's about.
Yep.
Man, I can't think of anything else that it's about. There's no subplot. There's no.
Well, there's lots of lessons about leadership.
Well, and, I'd say it's the same lesson repeatedly being drilled into your dumb rat-like brain over and over again.
Yeah.
But guys, what about like how hard it must be to have and maintain all of the leather that every person in this movie had on them.
It's true.
That's got to have something.
That's a good point.
Do they
Leather
have cattle or something?
Well, I mean, they had access to Italian closets. Right. So it was probably just, I mean, this was an Italian film.
Right.
This must be at the very end of the Giallo sort of like effort.
I don't know if you could classify this as Giallo, because I think Giallo is like pretty specifically like killers, like serial killers kind of
I think it would be offensive to call this Giallo.
Yeah, it's just a shitty Italian movie.
Yeah, that's there you go. It's like those westerns they shot in Italy. Okay.
So
Is that where
Rats
spaghetti westerns come from?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rats is bad. Sure, it can be argued that it's so bad it's good, and there are many times that I can point to where I laughed at the ridiculousness of certain scenes, but when it comes down to it, it's a bad movie. What makes it worse in our case is that we're forced to watch it because this was a patron selection and been hounded by our fans for a long time to watch Rats.
Months.
So really, it's in essence, it makes it a school book report.
Yeah.
No one likes reading books for a book report.
No.
Like, there are books that I wanted to read.
Right.
That when they were assigned in a book report, I hated it.
Yeah, it turns it on its head.
I was like, God damn it, I don't want to read another single page. And it's like, this fucking enthralling book.
God damn it.
Anyways, it took me about 2.5 hours to watch an 1.5 hour long movie because I had to take a break from the boredom every couple minutes. The worst part about Rats is the snail's pace in which anything happens. Even if you're looking for a gory exploitational horror film, this one falls short. Most rat attacks look like a bunch of dead rats being dumped on someone, preceded by the victim lazily rolling around among some lazy and disinterested rats.
I disagree. It looks like a lot of live rats being constantly mistreated, or also it looks like the same stock footage of rats being played ad infinitum forever. It seems like there's no end in sight. Seems like there's some weird sort of deja vu thing going on where you're never going to reach the end of this very short but still very long movie. How did this strike you, Brad?
So, I give it a little bit more slack than you two do. I understand that you guys have watched literally hundreds of more horror movies than me. But for me, I actually planned on watching this kind of haphazardly. I had it on my second monitor. I was going to play a game while watching it. And I realized halfway through the movie, I hadn't even gotten out of the title screen for the game that I was in. Because I was glued.
You're so enthralled.
I was glued to it. I was, because I have an appreciation for movies that are so bad that they're good.
You're lucky we don't have a cross big enough here to support your frame.
Well, it's... How do I explain it? So, there are movies that are bad where either they really tried to just be bad, or they're just so bad that it's not enjoyable whatsoever. This, to me, was such an effort as to stick with the same level all the way through.
Yeah.
For me, that it made it campy, it made it laughable, and I left the movie smiling. So, I mean, for me, it's...
Well, I think for you, a big part of that feeling, and I could be wrong, this is just me projecting, but I think a big part of that feeling for you is you were part of the hashtag Justice for Rats, which made its way onto our now very sizable Horror Movie Talk Facebook group, and then had every single fucking person on that group being like, hashtag Justice for Rats. We need to get Magnus's rats. And then, then you're a patron, and so you helped to vote this for this whole thing. So really, it is you are the object of my hatred right now.
I mean, it's not something that I'm not used to being, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This became a movement.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was mostly after the Bats episode.
So I would like to also take a moment to point out that our Swedish superfan Magnus Krantz is a film reviewer now. Filmklubben is his podcast. It's a Swedish podcast that I'm currently learning Swedish to be able to listen to. The effort has not stopped. I can say lots of things in Swedish that don't make very much sense.
Let's hear
Mostly curse words.
I think it's jag det hatar rats. I do not like rats. I hate rats. So he's a movie reviewer now. Why hasn't he reviewed Rats?
Yeah.
Where's his review for this great movie that he claims to love so much?
Does he have a Facebook group yet?
I don't know. They have a Facebook page, though.
All right. Well, we got to hound that Facebook page for him to review Rats.
But here's your opportunity, though. If he's reviewing movies and he was so adamant that you guys review Rats, you can literally turn the knife around and make him review now your least favorite, like Messengers. You could make him review Messengers.
The difference is,
I would wish that
Magnus literally loves this movie. Like it's not his most hated movie. I'm sure he loves it.
I don't think so. I think
really,
that's guys.
You think
it's to make us watch this?
No, I think he loves it.
I don't know. I don't think so. But in any event, yeah. So what's your score for Rats, Bryce?
I mean, I've seen some really bad movies, and I always go back to the well of like nothing really approaches straight to video, Full Moon Productions.
Yeah.
But this one does. This one's a 1 out of 10 for me.
A true oneer. Yeah. I hated every moment of this. I was sky high. I was blitzed out of my gourd while watching this, and it was boring as sin. I could not handle how bored I was, even while very, very high.
This movie, if we were to do like a Riff Tracks or like a Mystery Science Theater track for this, this is a perfect movie for that.
See, it's weird because
you would never want to watch any of the movies they cover on that show, without people making fun of it.
See, but it's weird though, because I was thinking about that as Brad was talking. I was thinking, I don't even think this falls into that weird little space where MST3K could.
I think it is.
Do you think
it's
so?
Right? It's right in that sweet spot. I mean, there are several things that when I was paying attention to it. You know that thing where you're reading a book and you get through 2 pages and realize you haven't actually
You've just been
read anything.
Zombie reading.
You've just you've looked at all the words, but you haven't translated them into language for yourself.
Right.
And you have to go back and be like, all right, what the fuck?
On the other hand, that's a great thing for reading to little kids. I can read through whole books and have no idea what happened.
Right.
Just be like, blah, 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 and they'll be like,
Yeah, so that's what the watching experience for this was. I was literally watching it.
But you were somewhere else.
I just
Yeah, no, I know. I was there. I was super high and I was doing that.
But yeah, the times where I was actually paying attention, there was enough ridiculous things that are notable and commentable that I think this would be a candidate for a Riff Tracks kind of thing.
Yeah. What about you, Brad? What do you think? Where's this land for you on a scale 1 to 10?
See, I think this is really going to show the difference between us.
Oh,
as,
man.
People,
no way. This is not going to break a 3.
No. Okay, so based upon your previous rankings where, 1 is an absolute dredge and you hated yourself for watching it, 5 is your, kind of hits all your bars, and then everything above there. See, I have to give it a 6.
What the shit is going on now? You're never invited back.
Okay, but here's the reason, though, like I said before. So, it hit everything that I was looking for in this movie. You can't watch the trailer and not know immediately what you're going to get into. And, it hit all of those for me. And then it even went, for me, 1 above there because it wasn't, for me, boring.
Right. I see what kind of person you are. I've known you all these years, and I've never really known what kind of person you are. That's a lie. I know. I knew you were going to do this to me.
This one, well, we've talked about this before, scoring. It's a difficult thing because you can either score based on how good is this as a film, subjectively, or as subjectively as you can look at it, or you could score on how much did I enjoy this film, and those can be wildly disparate scores.
Yeah, I really loved Kuso. Just a film made about farts and pus.
And shit and cum.
And shit and cum. And it was my favorite movie. And you could not handle it. You did not like that.
It was literally the most uncomfortable. I don't even think I gave that a 1. I think I gave it a 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was your previous lowest score. Go ahead.
When you guys reviewed The Ruins
that was
my suggestion.
Yeah,
I gave that movie a 1 because I've never been more bored in a theater watching a movie.
Wow,
and I was
really?
with a girl. Like, I was trying to find ways to entertain myself with this girl in the theater, and I was still falling asleep.
Wow. Well, see, I had such a good time.
Movie. I hated it. It was dumb. There were the whole, it's another thing, but the whole plants are like slowly growing into people, and it's like, you can't just like cut the plant away as it comes at you.
No, you can't.
No.
Yeah, we reviewed that movie over a year and a half ago now.
Yeah, that was a while. So did you say your score?
Yeah,
I assume
1.
It's a 1.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of hairy rodentia, how about your nuts? How hairy are them?
I'll tell you, none. 0 hairy. My nuts are clean. Like, they are crispy clean shaven.
Yeah. So check out our sponsor, Manscaped. And go to manscaped.com and use code HMT at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping with that code.
Hey, listen,
if you...
No, hang on.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear a story, I got my vasectomy this week, and on the Afterpod, I'm going to share full on the experience of having a vasectomy done and how Manscaped. Well, first of all, I think I fell in love again with a new woman who carefully caressed, cradled, and washed my nuts. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at her and I said, I think we're in love now. I think this is how this works. Anyway, so if you want to hear this long, detailed story, you guys should check out our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk. And from there, we have another podcast where we just leave the mics running.
Okay. Well, we're not done talking about Manscaped.
I know,
though.
but I'm just plugging it.
All right. So Manscaped sent us out the perfect... what's it called?
Perfect Package 3.0.
Perfect Package 3.0. And in there is their Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0, which is beautifully designed to reduce those painful nicks and tugs when you're shaving your nuts. It's a third-generation trimmer featuring advanced skin-safe technology so you can keep your bad boys nice and smooth. It's difficult. You can't even cut your nuts. It's impossible.
I've rammed it into my nipple several times, like in an attempt to can't even do it. Can't cut my own nipple.
It's because their team of engineers are obsessed with technology and advancing the science of shaving your nuts. And I appreciate that.
Have you gotten your Manscaped yet?
I actually had one. I've had one for years.
Oh, really?
And, after finding out that my wife prefers the more traditional bush, I don't really use it on there anymore. However, I have found that it actually works great for trimming around your beard and mustache.
Yeah, that's where I go. That's where I go with it because I can't do the straight razor on my face, or else I get a bunch of little bubblies deals. Yeah. So this thing works great.
Yeah, and it's it lets you not feel guilty for trimming your balls with the same trimmer that your kids cut their hair with.
Yeah.
There's just something about that. Like rubbing a trimmer across your innocent son's head that was 2 days ago rubbing up against your balls, and you did not sanitize it. Like you did not rub that with alcohol, but it's got the Lawnmower 3.0. My favorite feature is the LED light, which illuminates your grooming area for a closer and more precise trimming, and also it kind of sends a bat signal of pubes on your wall.
Yeah,
as you're shaving. Yeah, as you're trimming.
Yeah, it's like, beware, pube hair, for I am on the way.
Anyways.
Now I can just see both of you spreading your junk in a way that it actually looks like a bat symbol.
But if you get one of these big packages, these Perfect Package 3.0 or the they have other packages on there. They come with these newspaper mats specifically to catch your pube hair so that you're not fucking...
Is that what that's for?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
You put it out on the ground, you stand over it, and then it just catches all your hair.
Man, why didn't I think of that?
Well, because you're stupid.
All right. So anyways, if you want to try out this fantastic technology product, use code HMT at checkout at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping. So, I mean, if you're on the fence about it, just look deep into your heart and realize that your nuts are too hairy for your loved ones. And so go there to manscaped.com. Use the code HMT at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. And okay. Other things we need to mention is Patreon. David already talked about that. We want to thank our new patrons. It's been a while since we've thanked them, and they keep stacking up.
Yeah, we pre-record our shows a lot of times, so sometimes it'll get backed up for 2 or 3 weeks of thick, ropey loads of new patrons.
So thanks to Flipping Off Cats, is it Johannes or Johannes?
Yeah,
Johans. Thanks to Johan C, Jacob F, Kristen M, Danica T, Eduardo R, and Jody Lee B. A lot of those people are known fans to us that we talk to on a regular basis.
I mean, I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
And we want to thank you specifically, all our new patrons. Also, check out our...
Thank you, Brad, for being the longest standing patron.
I was the first. The minute that link was posted, I was like, bam!
Yeah, you've been a very, very nice person to us, and we appreciate it.
Check out our website, horrormovietalk.com. We have a shop there where you can buy merch, stickers and t-shirts. That's basically all we have right now. And also check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel, a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. Contact him on Instagram at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram. Contact him and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him HMT sent you. If you want to leave us a voicemail, our number is 682-253-4468. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
You do drink soda before the show.
Well, today I do. Today it's going to be exceptionally gassy, just because I got this Coke.
It's not enough that we have the name rats working against us in the SERPs. We also have to drive them away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rats. Spoilers. Okay.
I can't gesticulate the way I normally would. Everything hurts. It hurts to laugh.
You mean testiculate?
Thank you. Yeah.
I got your balls covered, bud.
On the plus side, hey, ladies, I am shooting blanks now. How's it going?
I mean, I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Yeah, you do.
So I can't wait for the Afterpod to talk in depth about this.
Ew, David.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about rats. The music sucks. That's the first thing that hits me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it tries to do the super Star Wars-y thing at the start. It's like, some text.
Except it not only has the text, you also have, for some reason, someone British reading them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, classier that way.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, if you just read the text, it would set up and like put that own image in your head of what it's trying to set up so much better.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is nitpicking at a level that's not necessary for rats because there's so many bigger moving parts in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the opening crawls tells us about in the distant future of the year 2015, there's a nuclear war that devastates the world, and then this is set 100 years after that.
Whoa! But I mean, they still have all the same stuff. Yeah. I mean, you can't really fault them for that. I think RoboCop is one of the baddest ass series of movies maybe ever made. And they went full retard on the Ford Taurus as being the futuristic car of the future. So
that was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Oh, really?
Was RoboCop.
Oh man, it's the fucking best. kick-ass movie.
Great movie.
RoboCop 2. Oh man,
They
just rattle canned them flat black. They were like, let's just spray paint all these Ford Tauruses flat black. It's going to be the baddest ass, and it worked at the time. It's just now you look at it and you're like, what are all the Ford Tauruses doing?
Anyways, the first thing after the crawl that hits me is how bad the music is. It's like a touchstone of like bad movies. This like muted synth music that's like not creative at all, but it repeats itself so many times.
Yeah,
over and over, because they can only pay like a musician for like 12 bars of music for their hour and a half long movie.
I tell you, the whole way through this thing, I was just shocked that it was a movie shot in 1984, the same year that Nightmare on Elm Street came out, because it seems like it was 10 years prior. It seems like this was shelved. It was shot in 1974, shelved for 10 years, and then released. Just the quality of the I don't know, maybe
that's true. In terms of quality of the footage, the visuals and the sounds
and the acting, like it's all bad. Just very 70s-y.
Yeah. So we're introduced to our group of roving scavengers, and they ride in badass on motorcycles, and I love the moment where they ride up and then out of the back of they like start looking at this truck, like that's the cloth covered truck, and they're like,
a long pregnant pause.
Something badass is gonna happen, and then out comes another motorcycle.
He's run. It's
like, it makes like, why? What, they just, that guy gets to ride in the back of the car because what? Okay.
I like to see the arms.
Because they like to see the arms. I think we need to dust off the old drain addict drops.
Ready.
Yeah, we got.
Is ready. Morning ready.
Apropos. And then they all like slowly back up and are looking around at the surroundings. And I wrote down like, okay, everyone, gather around for a group photo, because they're all like backing away in the same direction.
Yeah.
Like up against a wall.
Okay, but hold on. Before that, when they first show up in this town, they hop off their bikes and are celebrating like they just like all got to the same place safely. And then look around for enemies and start pointing their guns at things.
Right.
Only after they celebrate they got there.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's not meant to make sense. It's meant to be rats.
I bet you could string together, you could separate every scene in this movie and like put them in a bag and reach in and pull them out, and it wouldn't be any more confusing in terms of what happens in the timeline of it, because everything feels kind of disconnected from each other. Anyways, there's a couple moments in the movie where it's like, okay, that person's dead now, but other than that, like, nothing's really explained.
No.
It's just like in the scene it happens, they explain, this is this scene now.
Yeah.
And then proceed with the scene.
I'm so irritated by this dumb movie.
So they go
you know
into...
what the most irritating thing about this movie is? Okay. We have a movie called Rats.
Did you know there's another movie called Rats in 1982?
No.
I found that on IMDb. Also,
bunch of rats.
Another rat horror movie.
Yeah,
I think it was Canadian.
We should have watched that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was better than this. So you got a movie called Rats, and then they immediately tape. Basically, they're like, but there's people who live above ground and people who live below ground. And you're like, okay, well, at least we get to see some cool underground baloney. Like maybe this is going to be in the sewers or something like that. Then they're like, no, we're going to follow the above ground people. So you don't even get the sewers. You know, where that makes sense where rats are. This is where rats live.
Yeah, there's no above ground, below ground like stuff happening in terms of the people. And it's all, the only reason that crawl is there is for the twist ending.
Right. But it negates all my good sewer drops. They never get down into the sewer.
But they do kind of explain
Well, they do it once or twice.
At some point, there's like that recording that explains like why, they're trying to come back up to the surface. And
yeah. It's like
that's like an hour and 10 minutes into it.
It is. That's true.
Oh, David is hurting.
My fucking guts. I can feel it in my guts.
Okay.
I'm sorry, David.
The movie or your balls?
I don't know. They put titanium clips on the ends of my vas deferens, so I'm assuming that's what I'm feeling. I don't know.
You don't want to see your vas deferens.
Are those permanent?
Yeah, they're so that they don't come back together. Instead, they're just like, blocked off.
Yeah.
I thought they snip it and then just like tie it together or something.
No, they wanted to make sure there was a blockage.
And there's the blockage.
Oh, man.
Oh, like a big sausage. It is. It's like a big sausage of shit.
So I bet that makes a vast difference.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Okay, so they go into like an abandoned bar area. What is this? Is it like a hotel?
I assume it's a hotel because that looks a lot like a lobby.
Yeah, they go into this bar and then they start spotting rats and they're like, ha, rats. Let's eat some rats. Remember how we eat rats? It's hilarious.
This is a fun joke we do.
Also rats.
We have fun.
We have fun. We have funny jokes that we say.
Yeah, and then we also find out in this movie that in the future everyone walks slowly.
Oh my god.
Everyone at all times.
That was the most
very,
nerve-wracking.
very slowly.
That was the most nerve-wracking thing for me. They're walking through, and I swear to God, my 90-year-old grandmother would be able to outpace them and then turn around and be like, where are you guys going?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's accurate.
And she doesn't even have use of her legs, and she just pulls herself with her arms, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she'd still be faster.
Like, hold up. Come on, guys. Keep up.
Can you guys please keep up with me?
But
that's the sound effect of her pulling herself along.
On the contrary to that, though, that first rat that you see on the table that he tries to catch, fastest rat ever.
Yeah. There's so little like rat movement in this movie. It's astonishing.
Oh,
how plainly the rats are filmed. And like, I went back to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Remember that scene where they go into the underground like catacombs to find the old knight's body, and they go through a tunnel and they discover like it's completely filled with rats.
Oh, rats.
Like they pull back and there's just like rats upon rats upon rats, and they're all jumping over each other. They're like falling into water. They're everywhere. Yeah. It's very dynamic. And it's like, oh shit, look at all those rats. They're going to eat me. This movie is basically like they like shot every single rat with heroin, and they're just like lying around. Like
I gotta clean my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of rats cleaning themselves. I gotta say, just as a general thought, rats did nothing for me in terms of spooky or scary. Just nothing at all. It was just like this weird non sequitur. It's like a doorstop of a bad guy.
Right. And you could make it more menacing. I mean, think about bats.
Bats was so much scarier than this.
Yeah, bats are just as innocuous in terms of like, it's just a like blank-faced thing flying in the air that moves fast.
Yeah.
But they got like the puppets made like a super monster face,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
They didn't try to do that at all with these rats. They didn't create any character. The one quote unquote rat character was like a half albino rat that you just assume is an important rat.
You saw the same look in the same area 8 times.
You can tell he's the leader because he's got shifty eyes.
Yeah. Okay, so I was going to say their idea of special effects mostly consists of them throwing rats at each other.
Right. It's literally like
off-screen rat toss.
Yeah. I feel like they really lean on how like creepy just a lot of people get by looking at something furry and crawly on the ground. It doesn't matter if it's menacing. It just creepy.
Yeah, put scary music to stock footage of a bunch of rats cleaning themselves, and there you have it. That's the scariest part of our movie.
Yeah, like, imagine the behind the scenes of this movie.
They did look real dirty.
Yeah, they were pretty convincingly, like, kind of nasty looking.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
But the way they acted was like, well, that's all pet store rats.
Right.
Like, they're not like...
They just greased them up.
Feral and, like, jumping over each other, or, like, running away or anything. Right. They're just, like, sitting there. Imagine the behind the scenes where they just have, like, just a giant, like, laundry bucket of rats filled up, and they're just like, all right, we gotta film the attack scene. And so they got, like, Vinnie Tortellini over there with the bucket, and he's reaching in, and he's just tossing a handful of rats on people.
That's racist.
I know, that's the actual production assistant's name in this, if you look at the credits.
Vinnie Tortellini.
And
speaking of racist, we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh man!
Look at me, I'm white.
I actually spent a solid half hour trying to research like how many rats were actually harmed in this film. Could not find anything. There was one user review that said like, I can't believe that the Italian Humane Society wasn't more up in arms about this movie.
I can't believe that anybody cares about the well-being of fucking rats.
Yeah.
Like, this is a non sequitur. I'm okay. I gotta say it. The black woman was named Chocolate. Her name was Chocolate, people.
All the characters in this, the names were kind of like just very on the nose. And it's they're like placeholders almost. And if I were to list off the names and just say, which one do you think is the black woman?
Chocolate.
You know, there's Deus.
Chocolate.
There's Kurt. There's Duke. And Chocolate.
But Lucifer, that could have been confusing.
Oh, Lucifer was confusing, but maybe it was because I was really high.
Yeah, my favorite characters were... so there was like two characters that looked almost exactly the same. There's Kurt, the leader, and then some other guy that I can't remember his name. But they looked exactly like the lead in Megaforce. Did you ever see Megaforce?
Megaforce.
I've seen pieces of it. I've been wanting to actually watch that.
What is like Megaforce?
It's a movie from my childhood that I can't remember any. It's like a special forces thing, and all I remember is at the end of it, there's a bunch of flying cars and flying motorcycles with smoke trails.
You mean contrails?
Yeah, contrails. It's the government.
Chemtrails?
Chemtrails, yeah.
Putting chemicals in the water to make the frogs gay!
Make the freaking frogs gay!
So, yeah, Megaforce is about a government force that makes the frogs gay.
Hey,
the other ones that are notable is Duke, which, if you look at him, you should pull up a picture of Theo Von and a picture of Charles Bronson, and I defy you to tell me if he is not their love child. Looks exactly like a mix between Theo Von and Charles Bronson. And then the other character that's a little on the nose is Deus, which is the lone surviving Hare Krishna in the distant future, and he's the holder of random spiritual knowledge that no one cares about.
I have to say, of all the acting, his seemed to be the best.
Right.
Because it was the most cohesive. It stuck. He was in character the whole time, and I don't know, he was...
Yeah, he was the most charismatic actor, too. Like, he was definitely...
Yeah.
You like watching him, and then all the rest of them are just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
He was the one actor in all of this to where when he spoke, you paid attention to everything that came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Right. And he was also like the source of a lot of exposition too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and then there's just a whole slew of other people that I don't care about.
I really enjoyed the part where they get there, they get to the hotel, and then what's their first big discovery? They're like, food! food.
Rare, scarce food. In our post-apocalyptical world, a whole room of food. Let's have a food fight.
Yeah.
Food fight.
Let's dump all this rare, scarce food on the ground.
It'll be great. And then they take bites out of these bags of like brown sugar. And
was it brown? I thought it was yellow.
It might have been.
Like old sugar.
Yellow sugar.
Oh. But it was...
And it's all got, like... I guess we haven't even mentioned that this is, like most Italian films, it's overdubbed. So, not just... This is something that they did even in Italian. I think they would shoot the film, but they would never use the actual recording. They would overdub it. So even if you shot a film in English...
Yeah.
They would overdub it.
They would bring in different actors and actresses.
So it's got like a real Speed Racer vibe whenever they're talking. They're like, ha, it's sugar. Sugar is here. Ha, I'm going to eat the sugar.
Well, I think that's another thing that confused me, because it sounds to me like almost all of the guys, except for Deus and Video, the overdub sounds exactly the same. I could not tell who was talking outside of Video and Deus. I couldn't.
It's very inconvenient for those of us who would rather just listen to the movie instead of having to sit there and watch it.
Right.
So the rest of the movie happens, and then it ends.
The other notable scene is there's a sex scene, and girl's got,
I knew that was going to happen.
She's got...
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
There were tits in this show?
Yeah. You don't remember?
No.
Pretty good ones, too.
You remember the girl in the sleeping bag?
Yes.
Yeah, she had a sex scene where her tits were out for a little while before that.
I'm going to have to go back and
watch when she first comes in to the movie and you see her holding that long spear and she's in this like caped outfit, I'm like, oh, She-Thor is there for plot reasons.
Right. Yeah, so I think she has sex with Lucifer.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And the name of the character is Lucifer. Not actually Satan. Lucifer stands for
the devil.
It's like a morning star.
Yeah, morning star.
Yeah.
Good job. Way to go.
So they have sex, and then she's attacked by a single rat.
Yeah.
One single rat. And it's very confusing. This is the best example of a scene in this movie, because as the scene was happening, I understood what they were trying to do.
You got a vibe.
But then they did everything in their power to undermine
shit it up.
Their goal of showing what they were trying to convey.
Right.
Which is, they were trying to convey a single rat crawling into the sleeping bag, and I'm pretty sure crawling up her vagina, Virginia, and eating her from the inside.
Ew!
And she's like panicking, and she's trying to get out of the sleeping bag, and
she can't do it. This is a common problem with sleeping bags. Yeah. I'm constantly like, how do I get out of this thing?
Well, that was foreshadowed hard though when they were having sex earlier and they couldn't get out.
Oh, I didn't remember.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
They're all like sleeping or trying to get ready for sleep when they get into the hotel, and you can obviously hear two people going at it. And it slowly pans over to Lucifer, and I'm just going to call her She-Thor because I don't remember her actual name, doing it inside the sleeping bag. And they finally get convinced to go outside to finish because the rest of them can't handle it.
Was that the same couple? I thought that was a different couple.
No.
Okay. See, this is why it's really good that we have three people on this episode, because
we really need to break down this.
Every one of us only paid attention to about a third of it.
Yeah. And apparently, I didn't even know there were tits, which is very...
That is damning.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it shows her and she's panicking, and then it shows like the sleeping bag, and it looks like a rat is jumping up and down in the sleeping bag between her skin and the sleeping bag. But
it's hot.
It's supposed to be inside her, because when they discover her, the rat crawls out of her mouth.
Well, it could have burrowed into her in the interim.
Well, no, but they like unzip it and they show
There's no
like all the way down to her navel, and there's no like bite marks or anything.
Well, it went in through the vagina.
Yeah,
the way it works. That's the way sex happens.
See,
Ew, David.
I guess that was. I didn't think that it was the rat. I thought it was her hands as she was trying to like get something off of her that she didn't know was inside of her.
Because I thought it was like she was trying to reach for the zippers.
Yeah.
Like the whole time. I don't know.
How do sleeping bags work?
Yeah. So that's a scene.
So I want to talk for a moment about the horrifically terrible cuts in this movie. Cuts that have no, I mean, oh man, they were awful. It is clear that there were points where they were like, cut, and everybody like froze looking at the camera kind of like, what? Huh? And then like everybody went to lunch, got their nosh, ate a little bit, you know, farted around, flirted with the people behind the sets. And then they, get back into position. And then they are like, all of them are about 1 or 2 inches off of where they left off.
Uh-huh.
And then the scene resumes. And so you have this weird, like, jarring cut that I had to rewind several times. Now, and this happens 3 or 4 times in the movie where it's just like, there's a clear cut, everybody walks away from their spot, comes back to their, quote, positions, and then doesn't match up correctly to their original spots, and there's no transition cut to give the... Okay. So it's just like... It's like they jump through time and space for a second.
Okay, I have a question for you, though. How in the hell do you catch that, but you don't catch boobs? I don't understand.
It's really high. It's like, whoa, they moved.
Because I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah. So, like, the only real, like, plot point in this movie that is, like, gone, they go back to the well with constantly, is that Duke is trying to... usurp Kurt as the leader.
Yeah.
And I wrote down Duke has got real big Starscream energy. If you're familiar with the original Transformers.
I didn't even think about that's so true.
Like,
holy crap. My mind is blown.
He's like just the henchman that's like constantly vying for position and constantly fails. Every time.
That is brilliant.
That's true.
Starscream energy. It's that's the most astute point about this movie so far.
The other like great death. Let's speed through this. We've got an hour talking about this. Let's move on to other stuff. But the other great death, the one good death, I might say, that's like on the realm of ridiculous and enjoyable, is when Taurus dies.
Okay, who's that?
So Taurus dies, they come up upon him, and he slowly expands. Like his back is down, and he starts filling up like a balloon.
Oh,
a balloon full of rats, because it pops and it goes, bling! Like all these rats go, bling! Out of
almost as though they're tossed by a stagehand.
Yeah. And then they dwell way too long on like the open wound with the rats crawling out.
I would like to point out one of the most expensive special effects in this movie was so we have a lot of moments, a lot of stock footage of rats, just milling about, just kind of living their best life. Lots of rat shit as well. Like this is clearly a dirty, gross set. But anyway, one of the better special effects was there was a bunch of model rats that were attached to parchment paper in like a infantry
conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt. And then they were pulled across the floor, but it was done so with silhouette lighting to avoid allowing you to see this quote special effects.
Yeah. It was out of the blue. Like they're
marching towards us.
Every shot of the rats, this like B footage of them just literally just lying around and like cleaning themselves,
scratching their noses and kind of like licking their balls.
And then all of a sudden it has the single dynamic shot of rats, like all marching in like a river of rats.
But you're not allowed to actually see it. It's got to be in silhouette because it's clearly just a bunch of little fake rats attached to parchment paper being pulled across the room. It was a pretty thick.
It's pretty thick.
Special effect.
So towards the end, pretty much everyone's dead. One of the female characters, Diana, she gets like attacked by rats about halfway through, and they're trying to like, heal her throughout most of the movie. And turns out she's fine. She can walk around. And then she gets despondent once she sees Starscream Charles Bronson get exploded. And then she's attacked by rats, to which, for some reason, everyone just loves her. Like, they react so much stronger to her death than anyone else. Because pretty much every character, when they discover her, they're like, oh no, not Diana! Why? And it really reminded me of The Simpsons. You know what I'm going to play?
No.
Oh, shit.
Kids, turn off the TV. I have some bad news about Lenny. Not Lenny!
Oh, no, not Lenny. It's exactly that feel with, like, Diana. Like, no, not Diana. Why? Cruel world, Diana.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Who is she?
Yeah.
Why do we care about Diana at all? Well,
not Lenny.
They cut out Diana's backstory where we come to learn that she's the last fertile female on Earth.
Oh, right.
Therefore,
that wasn't important.
Able to bear offspring in this new apocalyptic wasteland.
So the ending of the film is like the one like notable part.
It's really a cherry on the top of this shit sandwich. Yeah.
Because it's down to like 4 people, and then I think it's actually down to 2, right?
Yeah, down to 2 at the very end.
Yeah,
down to 2 at the very end.
Down to video.
Video and chocolate.
Video and chocolate.
He's named Video because he likes video games, you guys.
Even though they don't exist.
Damn it!
But he can play every video game ever.
He's done it. God damn it! And he can fix them. But instead, we get these stupid supercomputers.
Yeah. So wait a minute.
Incapable of video games.
There's a place that exists that has electrical power that can power video games, and you're wandering around here?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
why not stay there?
Yeah, exactly.
So it ends with chocolate and video.
Chocolate.
And all of a sudden, like, all these people in hazmat suits outside start spraying pesticide, and all the rats die before they get to chocolate and video.
What's your point, David?
And chocolate and video get taken by these people and taken outside, and they're like, oh, you are humans as well. We are friends because we're humans.
Yeah, video's like, we are best friends because of the human part, right? Because we're human and you're human. Right?
Slow, deliberate nod.
That's one thing that we didn't mention, but throughout this movie they randomly make distinctions about men and rats.
Yeah.
Like, oh yes, this was built by mankind. Men like us.
Yeah, it's
David, this is so awkward.
It was a little awkward.
Listen, we have to stick together as humans.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then at the end, they're like, so we're friends because we're humans, right? And they're like, it's like if you could feel someone being awkward from movelessly looking at them in a hazmat suit, and then they take off their gas mask, and guess what?
It's a man rat. A rat man.
Rat people.
The end. Okay, so that's
now,
the end of the movie.
I gotta tell you, just as a quick aside, I've never felt like we were punching down. Maybe once. But I really feel like you and I, Bryce, and by virtue of, being in the room, also you, Brad.
I always punch down. If I punched up, I'd miss.
Touché. I really feel like we're above this movie. Like, in a lot of different ways. Just starting with coherence, we're mostly...
Yeah, so just as a message to the world, Sweden, Magnus, our patrons, we just want you to know, we're better than this.
We're better than rats. We are. I think that's pretty obvious. Although here we are talking about it, so can we be? I do feel like I'm hurting someone though. Like I'm in a position of power and they're just the movie Rats, Night of Terror. And, and it's like horror movie talk. Why? I'm a dead horse. Like, ow, oh. But the reason is because of vicious, cruel-hearted Swedes who could have reviewed this movie kindly. Maybe it's more on their level. Maybe it's punching up for them. I don't know. But, you know.
I mean, I do think we need to cover more of these types of movies.
Oh,
but I would rather be able to choose
dare you?
I would rather be able to choose it than have it thrust upon me.
Ouch,
That'd be
Ouch, David.
more enjoyable.
Ugh.
So that's Rats. Anything else you need to add about Rats? Night of Terror?
They had to think as rats and reason as rats at one point. They were like trying to get in the head of a rat. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there you go. Yeah, we kind of brushed over the fumigators too, but I mean, what about you, Brad?
This movie is the prime example of what happens when there's too many cooks in a survival situation.
And you know those Italians, they fucking love to cook. They got that pasta and that gnocchi.
But I think my favorite death, though, in the entire movie, there's a scene, and I don't remember which actor it was, but there's one actor, and he has maybe 2-3 rats at most on him. And the immediate reaction, instead of trying to brush them off or do anything, is, let's set him on fire!
I also really actually enjoyed the peak of this movie where it really was like it came to a full like terror head, which is they had barricaded themselves into a room and the rats were trying to knock down the rats were. And we kept seeing the doors like shaking under the weight of these rats. And then they cut to this stock footage of rats just sitting around on the ground cleaning their balls.
It's the same one.
And I was like, how's this door shaking? There's just a bunch of rats sitting outside the door. Yeah. And then the door finally gives way and at least 35 rats were dropped onto this man, and then they were like laid out by the force of these 35 rats that knocked down the door. The
last thing that I have is did they forget about their feet? Because even though the vehicles are disabled, the vehicles get disabled because the rats chew the tires.
Right.
That's not at any time they could have, instead of going back into the building of death, they could have just continued walking out of the city.
Yeah.
Man,
no, you're right.
There's
a lot of inconsistency.
Every time I want to move on, there's something that I remember from the movie. So there's...
Oh, no. Are we punching up?
There's the other thing where when they're outside, they look into, like, the broken windows and, like, the holes in the walls and stuff. Like, it's a menacing thing. And, like, the one guy that dies in the sewer, it almost feels like they're trying to communicate that the rats are jumping out from those holes.
Yeah.
But they never show anything to communicate that other than looking at menacing walls. And then the last one is the thing that I need to talk about was there's one scene that's like self-contained where they're like standing in front of a door and they're like, okay, we're in front of a door now. Now we're going to go through the door. Let's open the door. And then they open it and there's like this red light and they're like, oh no, it's filled with rats. And then they close the door. It's just like, no point to it. And it's great because they don't show any rats.
It's really banking on the idea that rats themselves are scary.
Right.
And that's the fundamental problem with this movie is they don't have... Well, I mean, there's so many fundamental problems with this movie, but it's one of the biggest, which is like, rats are scary.
Right.
There's just some guy was like, rats are scary. And everybody else went, oh my God, yeah, I'm terrified of rats. Maybe rats were terrifying in the 80s, although I don't think so, because like I said, 84 gave us Nightmare on Elm Street with Johnny Depp and our big boy Freddy Krueger, you know? Like, you can't put those up against each other and go, well, this one's obviously scary. The rats, it has rats.
There is one last thing that I needed to apologize for David about, but apparently I don't because he didn't even see it. But here it is. I'm sorry that the only full frontal nudity part involving a male had his junk blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why can't I see a dick?
Yeah.
One dick.
So,
even in an Italian film.
All you HMT fans that are male, start sending us dick pics for David's enjoyment.
I mean, I'm taking it out right now.
Yeah, well, there you go. I would, but, you know.
Kids, turn off the TV. I have some bad news about Lenny. Not Lenny!
Okay, let's move on.
So, let's get into taglines.
Here's taglines.
All right, so taglines is a bit where we come up with alternate taglines for the wonderful movies that we watch.
They are meant to be funny or stupid or make you cringe because they're so bad.
Okay, I got 4. How many you got, David?
Yeah, I got 3.
Yeah, I got 3.
Okay, I'll go.
Maybe 4.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go.
Rats, because fuck you.
Okay, Biggin, you go.
Rat people look like rats, talk like people.
There you go. I like that one. I'm a little jealous I didn't think of that. Rats. They were African Americanized rats.
They were chocolate rats?
Okay. Wow, that was great.
Okay,
bravo. Rats. In Soviet Russia, rats eat you.
Okay, Brad, you go.
Rats. They're the scariest in the universe. Bravo.
What's that song? Flash. Thank you.
Flash Gordon.
Another song. Here we go. Oh my God, I was wrong. It was rats all along. I guess they finally made a monkey, etc.
Okay. Wow, real musical taglines.
Yeah.
Okay. Rats, tits, death, and valuable lessons on leadership.
Yeah. Wow. There was a lot of emphasis on leadership.
Right.
Yeah, there was that big struggle.
And there was really no leadership.
No.
It's like, let's do this now, bye.
Yeah, it was almost as if it was directed by someone who had no idea what it was to lead.
Okay, my last one is rats. Furry, murderous, cute, cuddly, cooch-eating rats.
Cooch-eating. Man, I would do anything to eat some cooch right now. I'm dying right now.
It feels like that's the only thing you can do.
It is, but it would hurt me. Like the arousal on the other end would just be too intense.
Yeah.
Like they were like, no, they gave me this long laundry list of things you can't do after you get a vasectomy. They're like, don't pick things up. Your children count as things. Don't blah, blah, blah. It was like, wah, 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 wah. And then it was like, and no masturbating or sex for 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. And I was and like 3 hours in, I was like, I'm so angry. I was so angry yesterday and the day before. I wanted to burn down my own house. I was so angry. I'm still fucking... Oh, my God. I wish I could eat some fucking pussy right now. Rats. The best Italian horror that Sweden has to offer.
My last one. Rats. Maybe it's a Swedish thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It is.
Fill us in, Magnus. Please. Fill us in.
Ew, no, David.
So...
Oh, yeah, now we got to transition over into...
Whores.
It's the last one that always gets me.
Whores. Oh, man, what I wouldn't do to see a whore right now.
Okay.
Anything.
All right, so Horror Movie Horrors is where we turn to our voicemail and listen to...
Nice
stuff from our fans.
Yeah, I would like for some of these voiceless assholes who give us bad reviews to actually put their balls where their mouth are and call us on the voicemail line.
I mean, I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
God, that's so fucking hot.
Okay, so we've got a bunch. Probably won't play all of them because it's been a while. We had a couple back episodes. So apologies if you don't hear all your voicemails. But here's one from a female listener.
Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. I was just calling because I wanted to give you guys a little appreciation phone call and just say how awesome you guys are. I know last week you guys had mentioned something about Apple Podcast reviews, but I didn't really go and look at them until now. And Kitty had mentioned the one on a Facebook group, on the Facebook group a couple days ago, and I just thought she was like, you know, appreciating you guys, whatever. I didn't realize she was referencing the one review that was talking about how sexist you guys are, blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to say that not all women think that. I mean, as a female myself, I think you guys are hilarious. All the women jokes, I mean, I think they're funny. You have to take that stuff with a grain of salt, and, you know, it's all good fun. I know you guys don't seriously mean, you know, a lot of the stuff, you know, that's really, really sexist, and, you know, whatever. It's all in good fun. We're all just trying to have a good time listening to your podcast and, you know, joking around. And I just think that people like that, they really just take it to heart and take it too personally. And I know that, you know, it's not personal. So I just want to say, keep doing what you guys are doing. You're hilarious. I know that all the women in the horror movie talk group love you guys. So yeah, just want to say that, and have a good day, and keep on spooking. See ya. Bye.
For new female listeners, that almost sounds more like an endorsement from an abuse victim.
Yeah, it's like, I know you don't mean all the horrible things you say about women.
I mean, you say it so many times, but I get it. It's funny. You don't really mean it.
You do it because you love me.
Right.
It's my fault.
We don't say anything horrible about women. We don't. Do we? Okay, look, I may objectify them, but it's because I love them too much.
I mean, I feel like for you guys, it's also hard to be in this place because you're watching movies that inherently objectify women just as a trope.
Right. It's not like I enjoy that part of them at all.
I know.
In fact, I'm made uncomfortable by it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
And it's blatantly obvious, like just the difference there. Like, but on the flip side, though, when you talk about stereotypes, like, look how many men in the movie that we watch, we're all like, I am the man who will lead this party. I am the man who must be in charge because I can save all the women.
It's a lot of toxic masculinity.
Right.
You know, and in an effort to get more women viewpoints on the show, I want to let you know I'm working real hard on getting my mom on a show.
Right.
And let me tell you, listener, buckle up for when my mom shows up. It will be, I hope I can get her on. I hope I can.
Here's one from one of our favorite listeners.
Thank you, Elizabeth,
for
acting like the abuse victim that you probably are, the horror movie talk abuse victim.
And if you ever tell anyone what we do,
I'm gonna fucking hug you so hard.
David, will you please give me a hug?
It's your boy Bugsy, calling from wherever Magnus isn't right now, because thank you for reviewing Bats for Magnus. I know his bat is rock hard and his balls are blue. Nothing better than a Patreon voter selection on election day. Now I have an erection. And don't worry about the critics. Bitches be slipping an Ashkenaz retard rule. And the only thing I like about Japan is sushi and sake. I fucked one of them once, and their pussy was indeed sideways. I felt used and abused afterwards because she fucked me for a promo video, but I captured her with my Pokeball and doused her in my boba tea. HMT, it's your boy Bugsy. Much love, B&D.
And there you hear a man who is very familiar with haters.
I really feel like that could not have come at a more perfect time.
Right. Wow. Bugsy. Bringing the heat.
I do not endorse anything Bugsy says.
Hi, I am Raven from Bakersfield, California. I just wanted to say that I love your podcast and I listen to everyone that comes out whenever I'm doing my work. And, well, I just wanted to tell you that my birthday is coming up on the 13th of November, which is going to be a Friday. And I was hoping that if it could be possible, you can get this voicemail in one of your podcasts before my birthday.
Oops.
And just something small like that would be really great for my birthday because I'm going to be celebrating alone this year because of COVID. Thanks so much. Keep up the great work, and your belches are horrendously funny. Bye.
That's so Raven. Sorry, Raven, for not getting this out in time. We pre-recorded the Friday the 13th Part 2 episode, so we didn't get this one in. But
was so
happy
sweet.
belated birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, Raven.
If she's not in the Facebook group, we need to get her in the Facebook group because the outpouring of like love that will come to her.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That is such a wholesome, nice place.
Right.
The Horror Movie Talk Facebook group. I do you guys, if you can join that. Oh, as we speak, by the way, as we speak today, it is the second Saturday of the month. If you missed our, you know what we need to do? We need to get these events on the calendar way ahead of time. We need to just schedule them out, I guess. But we have a Netflix party on the second Saturday of every month. So make sure to subscribe to our Horror Movie Talk Facebook group, and or just subscribe, sub to any of our social medias, and we'll throw a link on there on the second Saturday. But that Facebook group will keep the events within it. So it'll be much easier for you to be reminded of them. But Raven, big hug here.
David, will you please give me a hug?
Yes.
Here's one from Jason.
Hey, it's your boy Jason. So, Bryce, David, buddies, I'm very curious. Would you like to let the whole world know?
What?
Is it true or false that either of you have either thought of or are currently a shower jacker?
Oh.
Let everyone know.
I can't jack it in the shower.
Right, you can't jack it anywhere right now.
Well, no, I can't in general. I can't.
Really?
What?
Why?
Well, it's too distracting. There's too much shit going on.
What?
There's just sensory overload. It's hot. There's little pitter pats all over my back. I gotta concentrate.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's alarming to me. Both me and Brad are just looking at you stupefied.
I'm a laster, man.
We're nonplussed.
Do
you have to like have your hips tilted at the right angle and like some type of scent in your nose?
No. I have a lot of control. Like, it doesn't. Okay. So you want to get deep dark into this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So as a kid, I really soaked up this thing of like, okay, well, look, your dick, first of all, your dick isn't big, so it better be impressive in some other way. Right?
Okay.
So what do? You go, okay, well, what, it's not huge. So what else do you got to do? Okay, well, you got to make sure you can last, because girls don't want you to come right away. They want you to. So in my head, I was like, well, that's easy enough. And so basically, I'm a champ. I can go any amount of time. There's nothing you can do to me with that can. Yeah, I mean, well, there's probably. I mean, if I
all right, let's not get too much too.
If I were to put the challenge out there, I'm sure some ladies be up to it. But, yeah, no, but external stimuli. You know, if there's too much going on, it's hard to make those stars line up. It's hard to get down into the critical peak of coming.
I mean, that's a real
ropey
skill.
Yeah, thick ropey loads.
I mean, like the showers. So from an early age,
so you can say I don't even need the vasectomy.
Right. Like from an early age, the shower's always been like the place of solitude where I felt like I could just fully go at it.
Right.
It's like, it's clean because it just goes down the drain.
Right.
And no one's going to come in and like interrupt you because you're in the shower. They would expect you to be naked.
Right.
And, you know, the water is kind of like a self-lubricating thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's warm.
You got soap in there, you know?
Yeah. It's
I mean, for me, you know, I grew up super conservative, so it was a dirty, shameful business, and I had to hide it in every possible way. So that the perfect place was the shower.
Yeah.
And plus okay, never mind. I don't want to get
Too much going on in the shower.
I mean, I can relate to you because I grew up in a very conservative, very traditional household where, like, anytime you touch your no-no place in the form of ecstasy is, like, bad.
Right.
So, like, when I was 16, I went.
It's the most dirty,
months.
evil thing you can possibly do until you're married. Now do it all the time. Which is like, that's a tried and true. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried and true formula for creating mental illness.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
Like, you want insecurities about yourself? That's where it starts.
Yep. Don't do the one thing that is obviously good. Yeah. Yes, we are shower jackers, and David apparently is not, which is shocking.
My bird escaped from his room and is terrorizing my family at their house.
Oh, no.
Dive bombing them.
Do you have to leave and go take care of this?
I may have to once we finish recording this episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I was joking.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You know, there's a thing for that. It's called a net.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to cause too much anxiety to the bird. I'd rather my family.
You know, anxiety to your family, your very young children. Sure. The bird, though, we got to protect the bird.
Right.
David, the pedals make it move more.
Okay.
Wow, we're learning lots of stuff about each other. Here's one.
What's up, you sexy fucks? This is Rojo from the Bronx here, calling after listening to the Friday the 13th Part 2 podcast. And, I got the odd day off over here. I figured I'd have a little bit of coitus with one of those Tinder girls. I have her coming in soon. And, thinking about all this sex and all this good stuff, all this, I send you guys a link to a ball crushing video that I'm getting into with time. I figured I'd ask you, what have you seen? Because I've seen a lot of shit. I work in that shitty job in the medical field. I see just things that are not sexy. Has there ever been a horror movie scene or something that has deterred you from engaging in that coitus? Okay, guys, fuck off, and you guys are doing good. Fuck those haters, as always. This is Rojo from the Bronx.
Fuck off. You guys are doing good.
For the lady who reviewed you guys and asked if it was part of the brand to, like, say all the dick jokes all the time, I feel like that. The last voicemails have definitely proved it.
Right. It's definitely part of the brand. Listeners demand it.
I got to tell you, the whole Suspiria 2018 was a huge no-no for me. Like, I was like, oh, there's so much, like, weird, horrific shit, like, balled up with, like, vaginal stuff that it just really was very alarming. And I did not want anything to do with sex following that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that could deter me.
Oh.
Like retards. Oh, there you go. Yeah, what about...
No, I mean... No, I mean, I'm thinking about, like, if I watch something or if something happens and if someone to say, like, hey, would you want to have sex with your wife right now? The answer would be yes.
What if it was like, okay. So Bryce is scared of mentally ill people or mentally challenged people. So what if we just had Rats the movie, but instead of rats, it was just retards? I'm
not scared of them. I just
don't want them
scared of them touching.
Right. So that's the movie, is them touching people.
Believe me, I've genuinely considered writing a script about a disease
retards,
where
Night of Terror.
If retards touch you, they give you retard. And so slowly the world descends into retardation because it's like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
What was the movie you guys reviewed where the mentally challenged guy was like, "Oh, you think I'm retarded?"
You smell that?
Retard stank.
Was that like
the evil
scariest movie ever? Then, I forget what movie. You remember what movie that was?
Yeah, The Evil Within.
Yeah. Was that?
I mean, I don't want to just like I don't want to get too far into this. It's more of like an off off the cuff saying that's like a subconscious fear. It's not an actual fear. Like I appreciate, people that are mentally handicapped. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like people are people. They have their own unique challenges. I just watched the Quantum Leap episode where Sam jumps into the guy with Down syndrome, which is great. Jimmy is the episode. Might want to check it out.
All right.
It's the one where he turns in the mirror, or he goes, "I'm retarded," and then he turns in the mirror and just Down syndrome guy looking back.
There's a meme about that.
No, I just want to say, like, genuinely, I don't look down upon people that are mentally handicapped.
Okay, enough.
I just don't want them to touch me because I'm scared I'm going to get retarded.
Okay, let's next phone call.
Well, no, because there's a story that I have for you that I'm pretty sure is going to make you not want to have sex after you hear
Okay, let's hear it.
So I used to work in a jail, and there was this one guy in particular. He was on suicide watch, which on suicide watch you are put naked into a room with a very, very thick like blanket that you can kind of wear as a jacket, but it basically makes it impossible to rip apart, so you can't hang yourself with it.
Okay,
this is how you cure depression.
Yes. So he's in this room and he's coming down off of whatever high he has, but apparently a common thing when you're coming down off of drugs is extreme constipation. And the
That's
guy,
a heroin thing.
Yeah. The guy was constipated so much.
Don't ask me how I
that he actually protruded his asshole from his butt, and you could see the inside of it coming out.
Don't prolapse your anus.
Yes, that's the word. And we had to get medical attention because the guy was just screaming bloody murder. So we finally had the nurse come in and talk to it. And
my guts are falling out of my butthole.
As we're supposed to watch and keep the nurse safe. And I got to see all of that, and I did not touch my wife for days.
He's got a tail.
When I got when I had my vasectomy, I looked the doctor square in the eye. I go, "You're a urologist, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "It is my understanding that pee is stored in the balls." Without a hint of humor or anything. And he looks at me right back with no humor at all. And he's like, "That is incorrect." And I was like, "I know that." He's just like,
I don't know why I said that.
I was like, "I'm pretty sure it's in the large intestine." And he was like, "Okay." It's like, "Please don't hurt me."
The amount that you fuck with medical professionals as you're going through a procedure
it's my only defense.
is amazing to me. You're like, yeah.
My only defense is to make them laugh.
Right.
And because it endears me to them.
Right.
I go, if I can make them laugh, and he did laugh. So.
I mean, honestly, they're cutting your balls off.
I don't want to talk about, they're not cutting your balls off.
I mean, they're detaching your balls.
No, they're detaching the vas deferens. Your balls are still attached.
Right.
Right, but they're not useful anymore. So you might
yes, they are. They produce testosterone.
They're just floating there, though.
I mean, you can get shots.
They're not just floating
there.
They're
floating there.
No, they're... What? There's pee inside them. They
they're
store
just like
the pee.
Loose dice in a bag at this point.
Right.
They store the pee.
I mean, they're already neutering you, so...
Then how does the pee come out of my wiener?
So what possibly worse thing could they do that you're endearing yourself to them?
I'm not neutered. I still have my balls and more testosterone than you'll ever see.
All right. Yeah, honestly, like, I don't think there's anything that would keep me from... I'd just be like... I could see like a horrific car crash, and my wife could turn to me and is like, "You want to go?" And be like, "All right, let's do it.
Let's do it right now."
Because I'm desperate.
Oh, right. Yay, David! Yay!
All right, how about...
Let's call it.
This is a short one.
Oh, hello, David and the Bride. He's the number one horror movie talking fan, Antonio Margarete. I just calling to tell you how much I love HMT. It makes my pee-pee so hard. I watched Friday the 13th for this past week, and my pee-pee gets so hard looking at the movies. I love the movies, the machines, the big old titties.
Do we have a phone number related to that? Because I think I might know who
No,
that
we
is.
don't. No, we don't.
I mean, we're not going to say it.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know who that is. Anyways. All right. Last one.
added on to that bullshit call I made there as I wait for this Tinder gal to come over and, you know, engage in some coitus. I was thinking, you know, in terms of horror movie scenes that have affected my sex life or deterred me from sex life, I figured I'd bring up a story of when I was engaging in some butt play with one of my former ladies here.
I'm listening.
You know, it was butt play for the first time, and we were doing good and everything. I was trying to slip it in, doing the old 2-in-1 trick that they show you. And I slipped it in there. You know, I did my thing. You know, in the booty. I hope this call goes through and you guys played. Don't be a bunch of pussies like those guys that send you those super queer responses online. How angry they are. But aside from that, I was doing my thing and I pulled out the old winky, and attached to that winky was a turd. Green in color, slimy, covering my winky there. And, you know, it reminded me of the human centipede. I know this has nothing to do with Friday the 13th, but, you know, it was attached to my other call in there. So, hey, guys, keep it clean and remember to take fiber and douche before you have any butt play fun. All right, guys, peace. Fuck you guys.
Fuck you, Rojo.
That's another Rojo one.
Wow. Yeah, you know, you don't think about in the heat of passion, you don't think about all the stuff that's in the butt. You know,
I do.
And then you get in there and you're like, oh, there's a lot of poop in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a tremendous amount. There's just, I mean, it's just a lot of poop.
Yeah, you get in there and you're like,
is that what I think it is? Have we got corn?
All right, so that's our voicemail. Horror movie. Whores. All right, so thank you for listening. If you know of anyone that would appreciate horror movie talk and lots of talks about
boobs, boobies, tits, titties, tig old biddies, machines,
anal sex, you know, rats.
Haven't talked to Ben in a while.
Big old titties and tiny vaginas.
I mean, I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Please share the podcast with a friend, and if you have an Apple product, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again to our new patrons, Flipping Off Cats, Johannes C., Jacob F., Kristen M., Danica T., Eduardo R., and Jody Lee B. Lots of ways you can support the podcast. If you love us, go to our Patreon and check that out. But mostly go to our website, horrormovietalk.com. That'll have links to anything that might interest you. If you want to leave us a voicemail, again, our number is 682-253-4468. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, if you guys want to become a patron and get and vote for us to review better movies than Rats, you
Please
can do that.
Yeah,
do that.
Please, get a swarm of you.
Yeah, we need a lot to because obviously our patrons right now hate us and they just pay to torture us. So
start voting for I don't know.
I mean, there are horror movie patrons that enjoy torture. What kind of other horror movie patrons would you like?
I forgot that you're right here.
Yes.
God damn it.
Justice for Rats.
Justice for Rats. Well, finally we can put that fucking hashtag to bed. All right.
Somehow I think it's not the last time we've heard of Rats.
Thank you, new patrons. Thank you, old patrons. We love you. Thank you, Brad, for being on the show. And, of course, Brad will be on the Afterpod, which you can listen to if you become a patron.
Okay.
Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner rum. Sun kiss. with a crucifix, exorcist. Face hugger, chest bursters, alien. Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipedes. David Doobie Day, scare no expert. And Global Fucks hard, professional sexpert. Afterpods, taglines, and porno flicks. American Psycho, them guys pretty sick. Chopper, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone, hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Train addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner rumps. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargain for. Got a pickle to dickle, machines tickle bitties. Killer on the phone, ain't no Sharon Stone. Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and organs. Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona. Green River Killer, because reasons. Hallway of poop monster kids screaming. Ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary. 30 days shutter and jump scares, they fucking scary. Time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes. Use their white socks to catch their loads. To show them one titty, pretty. Paganism you should worship, they Teflon dicks. Pacific Northwest, let them see one breast. Shifty eyes stay spooky, poor man's digress. Bugsy, HMT, horror movie talk.